Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome back to Through the Keyhole. In this series, we'll take a look at player camps that are found in Fallout 76 via the player vending mechanism, and get a little bit of inspiration and some ideas for our own builds. As always, these are not any of my camps, with the exception of the one behind us here, that you can check out via the card in the top right corner if you'd like to. But just a couple of camps that I found around the game, and we're not going to be overly critical as always. We're just going to take a look, get a little bit of inspiration. So, without too much further ado, let's jump in and take a look around. So, first up we have a camp that is overlooking Summersville Lake. It's up on the cliffside here. It's quite a cool little location. Got a relatively simple build, as is the case with most of them today, but they've all got something very, very cool about them. Got the brick textures in good use here. I like that a lot. Everything you need tucked around the outside. Plenty of food. Nice little bit of decoration. It'll be kind of a theme with this one. Decoration is very, very cool on a couple of these camps. Nice use of the plants and the oil lamps outside the front door there. That's quite cool and welcoming. Plenty of razor grain should you need it. I like the little vending area out the side here as well with the Vault-Tec canopy over the top. It's a nice use of that, something a little bit different, which is cool. Nice big garage door on the side as well. Really thoughtful little touch there, putting the rug down. I quite like that. Gives the thing a finished look, which is cool. Although I didn't notice it the first time around, the picket fences are really quite nice as well. Fit quite well. Normally I'm a little concerned that the clean ones are a little too clean for Fallout, the wasteland type of build, but they work really well here. On inside. So, little garage come workshop here, which is really cool on the side. I like the powered doors. Really like the contrast of the wallpaper and the bare brick walls as well. It's something I'm quite fond of, using the brick walls for internals, and mixing them up with the wallpaper works really, really well here. So I think we're on the casino wallpaper in here, which a lot of people have mixed feelings on, but they pulled it off quite nicely in here. Nice little bit of displays. Like the little Vault Boy statue under the stairs there, making use of what would otherwise be dead space and giving it a bit of character, which is cool. You gotta have a balcony when you've got a view like this, so good use of that out here. It does overhang the cliff a little bit, which can be awkward sometimes, but it's not too noticeable with this one, which is cool. Cooking area outside, because those chimneys on that stove really need to be able to clip through walls a bit more, because otherwise they're just pumping smoke out into the room, which is a bit of a design flaw. Something that does need to work on there, I think. Although, how are you going to make it clip through the walls, I'm not quite sure. Take a look round upstairs. It's very, very pink up here. Not something I'd go for personally, but it works well. Very homely. I like the contrast with the nice light flooring in there as well. It looks very clean, very permanent and homely. Little four poster in the corner. Plenty of plushies on the bed there. Lots of light coming in the big windows as well, which is cool. I really like the detailed decoration here. There's a little bit of something everywhere, and it really works well, makes it look very, very homey and lived in, which is cool. But it's not overly cluttered either. You can move around reasonably well, which is good. Managed to cram a very large amount of stuff into the build budget here, which is pretty impressive. It's really, really cool. Nice little bit of mixed textures over the top of the wall there as well, using the wooden walls to close the gap between the main brick ones and the ceiling, which is quite cool. Piano tucked in the corner. Fits very well in that corner, that's good. And we've got a little power generator room as well, just tucked out the way. Personally, I'd try and put a little bit of decoration in here, maybe some tools, something like that, but there may well be an issue with the build budget there, so that might be the reason for not having anything in there. And if there's one room to leave out, it probably is that one, so all in all, very, very cool. I really, really like the decoration style on this one. Really, really good. Might possibly have gone for different floors in the workshop here, looking at it on the way back through. Just because the wooden floors coupled with all the workbenches are a little bit of a fire hazard, perhaps. Plus they get dirty with the paper clean. But, all in all, a really, really nicely decorated build. A very cool little design. And structure-wise, quite a simple little thing, just made to work really well, which I like. Sometimes with sort of square, boxy builds, it can be hard to give them plenty of character, and they've pulled it off very, very well here. On to build number 2, and we're at the White Springs train station here, which is not my first choice of somewhere to build, especially not right in the middle of the road, but this is something very, very different. Not normally the sort of camp I would feature, but I like the... I'm trying to find the right words here. I like the fact they've done something different, and it's simple and effective, and for the most part, relatively easy to move, although the stairs might be a bit of an issue there. But it creates something that's very, very different. Excuse the slight lighting changes. There was a battle going on at the entrance to the White Spring there, so a few flashes are interrupting my recording a bit there. Made use of the space. Somebody's clearly well established in this location. Building using the garage doors instead of walls creates a very different type of effect that you see very often, so nice and open, and you can clearly open the doors and have a good look around. Nice open environment, which is cool. You've got everything you need in a nice tower type of format. It's very, very different. So I like it quite a lot for that. Don't see builds that use this principle. And not quite a spiral staircase per se, but that kind of principle in the setup of the stairs here, which is good as well. Something that's quite hard to pull off sometimes, and I like the look of it here. Very, very well done. A few workbenches on the first floor here. A lot of wires around, which can be a bit of a struggle to work with sometimes, but they've managed to pull this off so they're not too intrusive, which is quite cool. Plenty of defences as well. Up on the second floor, we've got a little bit more of a homely space. All the bedding and some furniture, somewhere to chill out. Very, very nice. A few pot plants as well. I think with it being a small square like this, giving it character is quite hard work, but they've done a reasonably good job of it there, which is quite cool. I like to have a few more angles and sort of different shapes myself, but working with what they've got, this comes out quite well. Plenty of power up there. All positioned on the roof. Does leave it a little open to being fired on from a distance, but it's possibly sufficiently high there that it's not that much of an issue. By the time anybody gets close enough to actually shoot at your power generators, they're probably close enough to be fired upon by the missile turrets a bit further down, so probably works quite well in that regard. All in all, a very different approach to building a camp that I like to see. It's quite cool. Got a few water purifiers and a few bits and pieces of crops just tucked over on the ground there at the side, making use of the position they're in. All in all, doing something very, very different to what most people do, which is always nice to see. Not quite sure about the lino flooring in here, but then I'm not sure about it anywhere, so it's very Fallout and very Vault-Tec, but on the other hand, it's also a little too clean and a little too bold in its colour, so it doesn't really seem like it belongs in the wasteland to me. And that's the problem with a lot of the flooring in Fallout 76. So a few more wasteland-style flooring options would be really nice to have in the game. All in all, a very, very different type of build, and something that is very, very effective as well. Quite like the look of this one. Definitely not something I would have come up with myself, which is always nice to showcase as well once in a while. People think very, very differently to I do. Speaking of something a little bit different, this particular camp is over in the Cranberry Bog, and a bit of a dangerous location to be camping this one, but it's very, very simple, but something about it works really, really well. Unfortunately, the weather makes things a bit of a challenge. It's hard to make things look good in grey, dreary weather, but this particular camp, I particularly like the use of the tent and then a low ceiling over the top of it. Somehow it just brings it all together quite nicely. And they've got a couple of pillars in there supporting the roof, which I like. In this case, they haven't snapped the ones at the corners, probably because of the choice of railings, I would guess. But it's nice to be reminded that we don't always have to use that technique as well. Sometimes things go a little bit wrong when you're recording these tours. Especially in the Cranberry Bog, things like this happen. You get a scorched beast coming in from one direction and get walloped in the back of the head by this ugly guy. So, as I was in slow walk, no HUD mode, a little bit of a quick escape required. But take two, the defense is clearly doing what they needed to do for the camp here. The Deathclaw didn't stand a chance. Moving on inside, we've got everything you need tucked on the lower level here. Reasonably open, very simple little layout, but everything you could want. Nice bright entranceway with the construction lights there. I like the little map on the posts there. It must have been a little awkward to get that placed, but it's come out really well. A little bit of cover and an enclosed space with the tent here for the living space, which is cool. As I say, having a roof over the top of a tent can be kind of hard to pull off sometimes, but in this case, I think because it's that bit lower, it really works quite well. Little cooking area on the edge here. We'll head up to the top. I do prefer these more industrial looking stairs to the base ones. Much more sturdy looking, much nicer looking for me. Not a great deal going on up top, but we do have the turret set up to cover the substation now, which was a sensible decision, as that's where the Deathclaw spawns. Imagine that little visit we had earlier is a regular problem with this location. All in all, a very simple but effective looking camp, which I like a lot. Fire vending tucked by the entrance. I'll head on back out. And for the last build we're doing, again, relatively simple build, but a little bit more of an effort made to break up the boxy shape, which is cool. I really like the location and what they've gone for here. There's a very distinct theme and style to this particular build. We've got the old Roadhouse here, just south of Morgantown, not on the main road, but on the back road that comes down behind Helvetia. And it's a really, really good looking camp, this one. Relatively simple design, as I say, but definitely made the most of it, which I like to see. All the crops you could want tucked around the side. I'm quite impressed at how much they've managed to squeeze into the buildable area here. They must be pushed right up against the edge of the build zone in a few areas. But they've squeezed it all in very nicely, and you can't really tell it's made excellent use of the space. Another nice brick building. They do look much more permanent, and I do like that texture in particular. I think Des did very, very well on that one. Swing around the back a little bit. Not a great deal happening out here, but I'd imagine if you fast travel in and appear out the back, that's the major reason for having the back door. Nice little shed in the corner with the workshop in it. I've worked around the trees as well, which looks good. It sort of gives it a more permanent feeling, works with the environment. I always like to see that. Unfortunately, that switch is not working for some reason, so side door it is. See a tiny little workshop here. Everything's squeezed in onto two foundations, but you've got access to everything you need. Open up the door and get access to the power armor station if you need as well. Not that it's unusable with the door closed or anything, but it certainly looks the part more with it open. Very, very cool. Going back around to the front, got a nice little veranda out front. Very nice little spot to sit in good weather, and very, very welcoming front to the place. That little road stop feeling. Look around the inside. With a nice little bar area out front. Pool table tucked in there. Wish the pool table came with some decoration on it, because as we can't place any, it would be nice to have a few pool balls on there and a couple of cues as part of the piece of furniture. But unfortunately, you've got to use what you've got available. The wood panelling looks really, really nice in here. It fits quite neatly. It looks like it belongs, which is cool. You almost don't notice it. It's very, very nice to see. Little bar area. I like that they've used the door there to create a nice little bar. Bathroom tucked in the corner, with decon arch in there as well. White Springs table. Yeah, there's a couple of pubs I've actually been to in real life that use that kind of principle of having a bar over the front of a door, and use that kind of idea that we can see here. And it works really, really well. I like to see that. Nice little bit of decoration on the... I think those are Thanksgiving items, those particular dresses in there. Got a little kitchen area tucked in a narrow corridor beside the bar there as well. We come around into a fully separately enclosed section of the build here, which is cool. It's the living space. It's not accessible from the front without going sort of behind the scenes, which is quite cool, and I like it. Fairly compact. Got lots of cool angles and stuff going on here, which I like. Breaks up the texture a little bit, makes it a little bit more creative. Nice bit of decoration. Nice contrast between the whitewashed backs of the stone walls and the wallpaper as well. It works really, really well. Nice homely feeling, albeit a reasonably small space, which is cool. Very, very small bedroom in here. Interesting use of the space. I might have tucked a bathroom in there personally, but it works very, very well. So we'll head back on down the stairs. Nice to see somebody's tucked the little fireplace into the corner there and had it clipped through the roof, so the chimney poke's out the top as well. It's a personal favourite technique of mine, that one. Looks like they've got the metal pillars in the corners there as well from the look of things, which is cool. That might be from the staircase looking at it, actually. But it gives it that rigid feeling, a technique no respawns has been championing recently. There we go. We'll close the doors behind us. Head out over this nice little bridge. I do like seeing camps and building camps in locations with a little bit of water here. It's more useful for accessing dirty water, in my opinion, than anything else, but having a nice little bridge over it is very, very cool as well. Might have extended the railings a little bit myself, but it does work. Maybe put some stairs on the front so you don't drop down there. All in all, it's a really nice, characterful build. Some very, very cool ideas here. Hope you got a little bit of inspiration. Really, really good work on the part of the people who've built these camps. So, always cool to see. So thank you very much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed this one. If you did, please do feel free to drop likes and subs. It's always very, very much appreciated. Social media links down in the description as well if you want to catch up with me on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter. And if you haven't caught one of the live streams, we're playing Fallout and a little bit of Doom as well. So do head on over and catch one of those if you get the chance as well. The little bell icon will let you know when I go live. And if you're really enjoying the content, please do consider becoming a channel member as well. The support is hugely appreciated. For now, I'll say thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.